Imagine if the human brain could actually generate electricity. Real electrical power inside your head right now. What if the same organ that lets you think, remember, dream, and imagine is also quietly producing tiny electrical signals every single second? And here's something even more fascinating. If all the electrical activity in your brain could somehow be collected, it might be enough to power a small light bulb for a moment. Sounds unbelievable, right? But the truth is, your brain is one of the most electrically active organs in the entire human body. In today's video on Brain Aura, we're going to explore a fascinating question that many people never think about. Does the human brain actually generate electricity? And if it does, how does it work? And how powerful is it really? Before we go deeper, if you enjoy learning mind-blowing science facts about the human brain and the mysteries of the mind, make sure you like this video and subscribe to Brain Aura. It helps the channel grow and allows us to bring you more amazing knowledge, just like this. Now let's start with something simple. Your brain is made up of around 86 billion nerve cells called neurons. These neurons are the messengers of your brain. Every thought you have, every memory you recall, every movement you make, and every emotion you feel happens because neurons are constantly communicating with each other. But here's the surprising part. They communicate using tiny electrical signals. Think of neurons like tiny biological wires. When one neuron wants to send a message to another neuron, it creates a small electrical pulse called an action potential. This electrical signal travels along the neuron extremely fast. Soma teams up to 120 meters per second. That's faster than a Formula One race car. Inside each neuron, there are charged particles called ions. These ions move in and out of the neuron through special channels in the cell membrane. When the balance of these ions changes, it creates a small electrical difference between the inside and the outside of the neuron. This difference is what allows the neuron to fire an electrical signal. So in a very real way, yes, the human brain does generate electricity, but it's not like the electricity in your house. It's extremely tiny. Each electrical signal in a neuron is only about 1/10 of a volt. But because there are billions of neurons firing signals at the same time, the brain becomes a very active electrical network. In fact, scientists can actually measure this electrical activity. You may have heard of something called an EEG, which stands for electro-E. Doctors place small sensors on a person's scalp, and these sensors detect the electrical signals produced by the brain. These signals appear as brain waves on a monitor. Brain waves change depending on what you are doing. When you are deeply asleep, your brain produces slow waves, called delta waves. When you are relaxed and calm, you may produce alpha waves. When you are focused and thinking hard, your brain generates faster beta waves. And when your brain is solving complex problems or experiencing deep concentration, it can produce even faster gamma waves. All of these brain waves are basically patterns of electrical activity created by millions of neurons working together. It's like a massive electrical orchestra happening inside your head every moment of your life. Now here's a question that many people ask. If the brain produces electricity, could we use that electricity as a power source? Answeries. Technically, yes, but practically no. The electrical energy generated by the brain is extremely small. Even though the brain consumes about 20% of the body's total energy, the electricity it produces is very tiny compared to what we use to power devices. To give you an idea, the brain uses roughly 20 watts of power while it's active. That's about the same amount of energy used by a small dim light bulb. But this energy is used internally by the brain itself to keep neurons working, maintain ion balances, and process information. So even though the brain is constantly producing electrical signals, we can't exactly plug a phone charger into our head and power our devices. But scientists are studying ways to use brain signals for something even more amazing. One of the most exciting areas of research today is brain-computer interfaces. These technologies allow computers to read electrical signals from the brain and translate them into commands. In simple terms, people may one day control computers, robotic arms, or even wheelchairs using only their thoughts. For example, some paralyzed patients have already been able to move robotic arms just by thinking about the movement. Sensors detect the electrical signals from their brain and convert them into actions. This technology could completely change the lives of people with severe disabilities. Another interesting fact is that your brain never stops generating electrical activity. Even when you are sleeping, dreaming, or resting, billions of neurons are still communicating with each other. In fact, The brain is sometimes more active during dreaming than when you are awake. Your brain is constantly processing information from your senses, storing memories, controlling your heartbeat, managing your breathing, and regulating countless functions in your body. All of this is powered by the electrical signals produced by neurons. Now imagine this for a moment. Every idea you've ever had, every memory from your childhood, every decision you make, and every dream you experience exists because of these tiny electrical pulses moving through your brain. Your personality, creativity, and intelligence are all connected to this incredible electrical network inside your skull. And here's something even more fascinating. Scientists estimate that the number of possible connections between neurons in the human brain could be greater than the number of stars in our galaxy. That means the electrical communication happening inside your brain right now is one of the most complex systems known in the universe. But despite all the research, the human brain still remains one of the greatest mysteries in science. We understand many parts of how it works, yet there is still so much we don't know. How consciousness emerges from electrical signals is still one of the biggest unanswered questions in neuroscience. So the next time you have a new idea, solve a problem, or remember something from the past, remember that billions of tiny electrical signals are firing inside your brain to make that moment possible. The human brain may not be able to power your house, but it powers something far more incredible. Your foods, your imagination, and your entire experience of life. If you found this topic fascinating, let us know in the comments. Do you think future technology could use brain electricity in ways we haven't imagined yet? Share your thoughts, because your ideas might inspire the next Brain Aura video. And if you enjoyed this journey into the science of the human mind, don't forget to share this video with someone who loves learning strange and amazing facts about the brain. Your support helps Brain Aura grow and allows us to keep exploring the most mysterious organ in the human body.